Hey everyone, it's Joey from Value TCG. So a lot of things to talk about today. So I want to make a video about, first of all, the One Piece reprint that was supposedly announced at the Nationals competition in LA this past weekend. And then also I want to talk about Metazoo. It was announced today that Metazoo is discontinuing. Now, before I get into that, please like and subscribe the video and the channel. Thank you guys so much for your support. All right, so let's talk about this reprint from One Piece. So supposedly there was a announcement at the Bandai at Nationals this weekend at Bandai Card Games Fest, as you can see here. And supposedly that, just reading the exact wording that was announced, that they will be reprinting previous boosters. Now, that has just gotten everybody up in a tizzy, right? People are fear selling booster boxes on TCG Player or on Discord or other channels. They're asking for 10, 20, 30% less than at the peak that we saw a couple weeks ago. And then we're also seeing singles being sold on TCG Player at a very fast flow through rate. A lot of prices have come down, at least 10% that I've seen. So a lot of, I guess, speculation, really, right? We don't actually know very much about this reprint. So I just made it a, pros and cons, or what we don't know and what we do know type of couple of bullet points here. Because right now we don't know which sets are being reprinted, the timing, and the size. So a lot of, people getting up in a tizzy over this announcement. And really, we don't know very much about it. They could be reprinting single boosters in sleeve format, which I think would be really great. I absolutely love going to retailers and finding those boosters, and you can buy and just rip for a few dollars, and just have a nice hit of endorphin, rather than cracking open an entire booster box. Or they could be doing more double packs. And also they could be reprinting only OP05, right? Maybe OP04. OP01, OP02, there's really not that much reason to reprint these earlier sets, aside from really one or two cards in OP02. And what we really need are the starter decks. Starter deck 06, starter deck 07. I mean, that's the bulk of Sakazuki and Enel slash category decks, right? So those are the decks that those are the things that we actually do need reprinted, not particularly the booster boxes, unless you just want to, support people who want to, gamble a little bit for by ripping, and that's totally fine. But I don't think reprinting booster boxes solves too much, aside from that deficit of boxes to be opened for the fun of it. And I do want to see that reprint, honestly, so that I can open boxes at a cheaper price. But look, what do we actually know will happen with this reprint, right? First, that there will be a reprint for boosters or booster sets. What we also know is the fact that OP06, we're actually seeing allocation cuts. So it doesn't particularly make sense to me that we'll have these massive waves of reprints from 01 to 05. When 06, they're not even able to, Bandai's not even able to satisfy demand for upcoming sets, right? They're not able to even get enough supply out there for the upcoming demand, right? A lot of people want to go after that Zoro manga, like myself. And we can't even find boxes, right? And then they're not more than just OPO6 not seeing enough print run. We're not even seeing enough print run for like event package, event prizings, right? Like those prize packs. They're not even printing enough for that. They're so far behind. Bandai's printers is so stretched right now that there aren't enough supply for locals, for local events that Bandai's supposed to send these promo packs for. They're not even able to do that, right? So, and last point, right? If we ask around about Team PDC, about Adrian from PDC, like I did, this person is less than trustworthy. I mean, first of all, the only thing that we know, and everybody's quoting him, right? You have 129 retweets here. Everyone's just taking the screenshot and saying there's going to be a reprint. Bondi is coming for people who are hoarding, blah, 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 right? But I haven't seen a video for this. Has anybody? If you have a video of this, please send it to me or please link me to that moment because I have not been able to find any other source aside from Adrian from Team PDC. And the other thing about Adrian is that if you ask about this guy, he is a snake. This man, Adrian, just earlier this last week had to go into court because he stole over $1,000 of Pokemon cards from other people. And he's well known to just drop false information to try to manipulate the markets. Not saying that's what he's trying to do right now, but I just don't find the source very trustworthy. I wish there was more than just this one tweet from him. I wish there were 50 other tweets or 50 other videos of this actual announcement going on so I would believe it, right? Right now, we have one person's word to go on, and it seems like they're talking about the Uta collection. So they could be talking about the premium Bandai releases for reprints or anything else, right? So we don't really know what's actually happening. So that's it on One Piece for me. I do want to move on to this other thing. I had pulled, so I know I just kind of crapped on Team PDC, but he had this up, and I saw this from actually many other sources, right, including the Metazoo uh, official sources. But what has happened, at least this Monday, is that Metazoo is announcing that they are shutting down all games. They're shutting down all operations, which is kind of crazy because just a couple of months ago, they talked about 2024 being kind of the reboot year, and then 2025 maybe actually selling the Metazoo items into Europe. So Mike Waddell, I mean, on the theme of not trustworthy people, this guy is one of those. So Mike Waddell, he has been really pumping Metazoo for quite some time now. He's working with Rudy from Alpha Investments to, put out specialized cards, and really try to get the hype train going. They just had the Hello Kitty release, where it was entirely botched. They were trying to sell these specialty boxes for what, like $250 or $300, and then immediately turn around and try to work with TCG Player to sell it for like $130 or something like that, half price. Entirely botched this release, and I think they just ultimately did not have their shit together. Right? They had no idea what they were doing. I think this guy supposedly owed a ton of money, according to Rudy, to printers in China, to players that played in these tournaments and had official prizing. He owed money to other people as well, probably to distributors. The guy owed a lot to a lot of people, and the only way, because margins in this game, it's so high that he got to this point. Because let's be honest, right, guys? We're selling cardboard here. The only way that Mike Waddell has driven Metazoo to this point is by financial mismanagement. I mean, he could have been overpaying people, but it doesn't sound like that being the case. Seems like he also owed some money to artists as well. My sense is that Mike Waddell sucked a lot of money from Metazoo Games, misallocated to NFTs, to all these other pump and dump schemes. And the thing about pump and dumps, a lot of these people take money out of their business, take a lot of money out of this crypto or NFTs, and they rug pull on everybody else who's still within the ecosystem. And I'm not saying this is what he's done. I'm just speculating here. But in my mind, as a financial analyst, someone who's been doing, been in the finance world for about a decade now, the only way that you can really mismanage businesses with such high margin and with a decent amount of demand is by sucking out a lot of cash, so much so that there wasn't enough to reinvest into the business, to pay your suppliers, to pay your vendors, to pay, Metazoo artists and staff probably. And that's the only way that you can really, really screw up a game like this. And honestly, Mike Waddell, this is on him, right? He's going to try to sound innocent, like nothing I could have done here. He'll probably try to like blame it on all these external factors, the economy, blah blah. I've seen Metazoo being sold at Target recently, right? If Target's carrying their product and that's being sold at probably a very high markup, even though I think it's Excel, or I believe it's Excel who distributes for to Target, I should say. I mean, these guys are probably raking in the dough every step of the way, and it's just an absolute travesty that mismanagement can throw a business off that much. So those are my thoughts. Happy Monday, everybody. Um, it's been quite an interesting few days in the CCG world. We see a lot of change. Hopefully with these bad actors like Metazoo um, being flushed out, you'll actually create more cash for the rest of the businesses that are just kind of holding on. Maybe Bandai can make a little more money on Digimon now that other cartoon characters are no longer being sold in card format. So maybe they'll have more money to allocate towards One Piece printers or the new Dragon Ball printers, or new Dragon Ball game that's being printed right now. Um, I will be doing an opening for the new Dragon Ball game, Fusion World, whenever that's released. I believe it's towards the end of February. Really looking forward to that. I think that's gonna be a really fun game. They just had an open beta for the digital format of the game. I hope you guys all had a chance to play. I was unable to play, unfortunately. I was very busy this past weekend, but looking forward to when the full thing comes out. Looking forward to just messing around with different decks, different deck structures, as well as just opening up new boosters. I think it'll be really really cool to play a new game. After I think the last new game I played was One Piece, and that was over a year ago. So looking forward to something new. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for staying this long. Please like and subscribe. I'll try to have maybe a couple videos a week. I feel very inspired recently with the different changes in CCGs to do more videos. I just want to talk about it. I think it's a lot of fun. Anyways, thanks so much for listening, everyone. Hope you guys have a great week. I'll talk to you guys next time.